Hey guys, welcome back to the Connoisseur Reviews. Happy Oscar announcement nomination day. This is one of my favorite days of the year. Just waking up early and just looking up the Oscar nominations and sometimes being severely disappointed and sometimes being really stoked when some of my favorite movies get nominated. Well, this year I was more on the disappointed side, but I feel like all the movies that got nominated were well deserved, and I understand where they're coming from, aside from a few here and there, which I'll get into. I just want to kind of go through some of the major categories and just give you my thoughts and quick opinions on the nominations in the list and if it's deserved or if there was a snub or anything of that sort. So don't mind me if I look down or anything. I am looking at my computer screen right now, so I am reading off of the nomination lists. So let's just get into it. Let's get into the big one. Best Picture, we got 1917, Ford v Ferrari, The Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, Joker, Little Women, Marriage Story, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Parasite. So all of these movies I saw coming. I saw these nominations almost guaranteed. That's 9 Best Picture nominees, so that's the most we've had in some time. And I can't really say that I didn't see any of these coming. I was not shocked at all. I am kind of disappointed that we did not get to see a nomination for The Farewell, which I thought was a brilliant movie, which was amazing. You'll see a little bit more when I do my top 10, my more in-depth thoughts of it. I thought that was a movie that deserved a Best Picture nomination. Once Upon a Time is getting a lot of love at the Oscars, and while I think it's a technical achievement, I don't feel like it excels in its story narrative department as much as some of the other movies that are on this list. Ford v Ferrari, with just a couple nominations, managed to get a Best Picture nom, so that's impressive. The leader of the pack is Joker. Joker has the most nominations. There are categories I don't think it should have been nominated in, but it did get nominated, which wasn't surprising to say the least, but you know, there's other movies, but we can't always have our favorites be in the categories. So this is a good lineup. It just goes to show what an incredible year this was. We got movies like Knives Out, Uncut Gems, and Rocket Man that didn't get a nomination either, and they were kind of like movies that were getting nominated everywhere. So that's that. Let's get into the Best Director nomination category. It is all men. I know there's a lot of controversy in that sense. I'll get a little bit more into that. We got Bong Joon-ho for Parasite. We got Sam Mendes for 1917. We got Todd Phillips for Joker. We got Martin Scorsese for Irishman. And we got Quentin Tarantino for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Personally, I wouldn't have put Quentin Tarantino in this category again because his direction was probably the weakest part of the film. He got some great performances, some technical achievements, but the movie was just too bloated for me. I'm sorry, guys. Like, it's a fun, enjoyable ride, but it is a bloated movie. There's a lot of unnecessary moments, especially everything to do with Sharon Tate. So that's there. I do like the other nominations. I think Bong Joon-ho and Sam Mendes are the front runner. Todd Phillips, I probably wouldn't have nominated either, but I think Martin Scorsese is well deserved. But this is a strong category. I mean, I didn't expect them not to be nominated, so it's not a surprise. But surprising omissions are Noah Baumbach and Taika Waititi, and then no female nominations. So I definitely thought Greta Gerwig would have been nominated, and I think she deserves to be nominated. It's not just because she's a woman. I think she did direct one of the better movies of the year, along with Lulu Wang. I think she did an incredible job with Farewell, but Farewell got completely locked out in this award season, which is incredibly sad, but at least Greta could have been nominated over someone like Quentin or Todd Phillips. I'm sorry, but her direction was better. She got better performances out of her cast. She told a story that was fun, lighthearted, emotionally impactful, a personal story, and a unique voice. So just to see that. But again, I can't really, there's an argument to be made for all of these people getting nominated, so I'm not too disappointed in that sense. Then we get into the writing categories. So for original screenplay, we got Noah Baumbach for Marriage Story, Bong Joon-ho for Parasite, Rian Johnson for Knives Out, Sam Mendes for 1917, and Quentin Tarantino for Hollywood. And I love seeing Rian Johnson in this category. That it was a nice little surprise because I didn't think Knives Out was going to get much Oscar love, unfortunately, even though that movie is incredible. Seeing Quentin Tarantino is kind of disappointing again in this category, but like I said, the storytelling wasn't the strong point of Once Upon a Time. It was more the technical stuff and the performances as opposed to the story and the narrative, which was just bloated nonsense. But I believe that's a strong category. Again, I'm very disappointed not to see The Farewell in this category. I think Lily Wang's script was incredible, incredibly personal, something unique to the character. I mean, unique to her and a unique cultural voice that we don't get to see very much of. But I mean, it sucks, but that's what happens. And then in adapted screenplay, we got Greta Gerwig for Little Women, Anthony McCartan for The Two Popes, Todd Phillips for Joker, Taika Waititi for Jojo Rabbit, and Steve Zalian for Irishman. I think all of these are well deserved. Joker, I don't know, but I think that's a good list of adapted screenplays. I can't really think of anything off the top of my head that was snubbed in this category. So I think what is nominated is well deserved, and I think they deserve their nominations in that sense. Then we have the lead actors. In actress, we got Cynthia Erivo for Harriet, ScarJo for Marriage Story, Saoirse Ronan for Little Women, Charlize Theron for Bombshell, and Renee Zellweger for Judy. I have not seen Harriet and I have not seen Judy, so I don't know. Renee Zellweger looks to be the favorite, so I'm thinking I can't really kick her out. It is disappointing not to see Lupita Nyong'o in this category. I think she was incredible. I think she's still the strongest performance I've seen all year. But again, I don't know who I would kick out because this is a stacked category. I think all those women are totally deserving. No Awkwafina either, even though she was winning in a lot of places and getting some surprise nominations. But again, who do you take out? Who do you replace? That becomes a conversation. And then in the lead actor, we have Antonio Banderas for Pain and Glory, Leo DiCaprio for Once Upon a Time, Adam Driver for Marriage Story, and Joaquin Phoenix for Joker, and Jonathan Pryce for The Two Popes. Again, great performances by the whole cast. Of all the nominees, I haven't seen Pain and Glory and haven't seen Two Popes, so I don't know. But I've heard incredible things about Antonio Banderas and Jonathan Pryce's performances. But a couple surprising omissions were Taron Egerton for Rocky Man, Dolomite Is My Name, Eddie Murphy, Adam Sandler. My heart belongs to Adam Sandler. I'm so sad he didn't get Oscar nomination. He's been omitted way too many times. I mean, Reign Over Me, Punch Drunk Love, Funny People, all those movies, he gives incredible dramatic performances, and Uncut Gems, he gave a truly amazing performance, and he didn't get his nomination, so that's kind of sad. But again, who do you kick out? I mean, this is a stacked category. It's a lot of deserving nominations. Supporting actress, we got Kathy Bates for Richard Jewell, Laura Dern for Marriage Story, ScarJo for Jojo Rabbit, Florence Pugh for Little Women, and Margot Robbie for Bombshell. Again, this is another stacked category. Kathy Bates kind of came by surprise, but not by much because she was getting nominated in a lot of places, so I'm not surprised by her nomination and inclusion. ScarJo getting Jojo Rabbit nomination makes me happy, but it's at the expense of a couple omissions that I feel saddened by. Margot Robbie getting nominated is well deserved, but I thought for sure Nicole Kidman would have been the one to get nominated from Bombshell. Laura Dern, I thought her performance was really good, but I think her performance in Little Women is better than Marriage Story, but she seems to be the front runner, so I can't really disregard that. Unfortunately, Jennifer Lopez didn't get nominated. I thought she deserved the nomination and the potential win. I think she is incredible in Hustlers. I think she carries that movie. She brings the heart, the soul, the charisma, and she looks great in that movie. Zhao Zuzhen for The Farewell, I thought would have been a nice little surprise nomination. She was just so sweet and endearing. I thought that would have been really cool to see her be nominated, but unfortunately she wasn't, so I mean, there's nothing a whole lot to do there. But that's a strong cast. I mean, that's a strong list of nominees. Again, here's supporting actor nominations. Tom Hanks for A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, Anthony Hopkins for The Two Popes, Al Pacino and Joe Pesci for The Irishman, and Brad Pitt for Once Upon a Time. Again, no glaring omissions that I can think of off the top of my head. Maybe the dad from Parasite, I forgot the actor's name, but I thought he could have been a great surprise nomination. Unfortunately, they weren't really being nominated anywhere else. So this is a strong group again, a stacked category. I don't think there's any surprise omissions or anything that's glaring in that sense. And then one of my favorite categories is the animated feature. I love animated films. We got How to Train Your Dragon, The Hidden World, I Lost My Body, Klaus, Missing Link, and Toy Story 4. So Netflix with 2 nominations, that's surprising. I Lost My Body is really good, and so is Klaus. Both of those movies are great. I'm really happy that they got nominated. Missing Link, I'm going to do a review for that. I just watched it the other day. I'm going to do a review for it. But to give you the gist, it's okay. It's okay, but I think How to Train Your Dragon and Toy Story 4 are the clear front runners. I think Dragons should win, but I feel like Toy Story is going to take it. No Frozen 2, which is surprising, but again, I don't think it was as strong as the first Frozen, if you go and check out my review. But I think the music and everything else about that movie was gorgeous. So there's nothing to do, about that, but I think that's a strong category of nominations. I think, aside from Missing Link, I think everything else is deserving. And that's it. I can go through some more of the technical categories, but I don't want to waste too much time. But this is my general idea. I do want to talk about the score category, because I do feel like we got Alexander Desplat for Little Women, Hildur Gudmundsdóttir for Joker, Randy Newman for Marriage Story, Thomas Newman for 1917, and John Williams for Star Wars Rise of Skywalker. I am very disappointed that Us didn't get a nomination. I think that was probably the best score and the most iconic score of the year. It was used everywhere. It was a memorable, haunting, really good score, and unfortunately, Us got no love at the Academy. But other than that, those were my 2 biggest omissions of this year, were J-Lo for Best Supporting Actress and Us not getting a score nomination, and Lupita Nyong'o not getting an actress nomination. I think those are the 3 biggest snubs of the year. Other than that, every category is justified. There's here and there I could pick my favorites, but that's for another list. I think this is a very stacked year. Sad to see Farewell be omitted completely from any category, which is sad because that was one of the best movies of the year, I think. Very personal, very strong movie, but this is what we're getting. But let me know what your guys' thoughts are on these Oscar nominations. Were there any snubs that you guys got noticed that I didn't point out? I didn't want to go through all the categories, but that's the ones that stuck out to me the most. And then over the course of the next few weeks, I will probably go over some more stuff. But that's my thoughts and opinions. If you guys have anything different to add, just comment below. And like always, follow, like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on my various social media sites at AwesomeRonaldK, at TheConnoisseur Reviews on my Tumblr. Alright guys, GG.